Welcome to 15 with Christine. Benji Sawyer, CEO of Sawyer Solutions, is our special guest this week. So let's get started. Before we dive in, I want to let you know where you can find the broadcast. I'll come to you live on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook. Hit the subscribe button and you won't miss an episode. My goal with 15 with Christine is to introduce you to people, to introduce you to businesses who can help you grow your business, help you grow your career. And I'm excited today to talk with Benji Sawyer, CEO of Sawyer Solutions, because we were together in Entrepreneurs Organization's Accelerator program. And what we're talking about is how Benji and Sawyer Solutions, he graduated from EO Accelerator. Because, only 9% of businesses get to that 1 million and more revenue mark. And Benji, leading Sawyer Solutions, has. So Benji, welcome. So glad you're here.
Thanks for having me, Christine.
Benji, I was so glad when you said yes about joining the podcast to talk about, your experience in EO Accelerator. EO Accelerator is specifically for businesses that are seeking to rapidly grow and get past that $1 million mark. And, you and I were in EOA together for a while. But would like to ask you first about the history of Sawyer Solutions, how you became CEO, and we're going to dive in on your entrepreneur organization story.
Sure. So we started the company. My dad and I are the primary workers in it. My mom and my wife also are part owners in the business.
Yes.
And we started it actually 10 years ago. Wow, it's been a while. To write software, I have a master's in basically applied computer science. My dad's been writing software since the early 80s. And so we were going to write some software to inspect towers and things of those kind of nature. And that was kind of, did it. I had a full-time job, did that at the same time for many years, learned a lot of really valuable lessons. And then a little over 8 years ago, I guess almost 9 now, actually, we were approached to take over the IT support for a company here in Birmingham. And at the time I was living in Memphis. And so we said, yes, we take over the IT support. And I quit my job in Memphis, which I was looking to do, and moved back home here. I grew up here and was able to do this full time with my dad. And we started it kind of just working in the business full time together. And it was just 2 of us. And that was a really good experience in a lot of ways. I spent a lot of quality time with my dad in an environment I guess most children don't get to spend time in with. And we've grown it now. We have 11 employees. And and so that's kind of how our little journey in a synopsis. Along the way, we've met a lot of really great people and done a lot of really fun things and had a lot of fun with stuff. And I've spent a lot of time learning how to run a business because I have my undergrad's in philosophy. My master's is in engineering technology. No business classes. I took macroeconomics or micro. I can't remember which one. I took one of the economics classes back in college as an undergrad, and that's it. That's a literal extent of my business. So along the way, I've had to learn a lot of things to be able to lead an organization and help it grow. So.
Well, now I know one reason why conversations are always so interesting with you, that philosophy background. But
it's a lot of fun.
Can I ask you what attracted you? Because you joined EO Accelerator before I did. How did you find out about the program, and how did you decide to join?
So Meredith, one of my friends, so I actually joined the second meeting of the chapter in Birmingham. And the EO was trying to get an accelerator program off the ground.
Yes.
And I had actually just completed what's called the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Business Program, which is an amazing program. It really is.
I've heard great things about it.
Yeah. And Lori, you know Lori, she's graduated.
I do.
And my friend Meredith Jones is like, hey, you'd probably really like this thing we're doing. And so the 10,000 Small Business Program is a really, really super intense. It's kind of like getting an MBA in 3 months, where the whole thing you're working on though is your business, and so it's a ton of knowledge just shoved down your throat. And while it's a super amazing program, I learned a lot. Like, you just can't retain that amount of knowledge, right? It's going to leak out over time. And so Accelerator was a great way for me to get in with a group of people who were also interested in growing their business. So I'm in there with other business owners who are looking to grow. So I'm not by myself. Helps keep me topics fresh in mind, things that I learned or things that I hadn't learned yet. And I was actually in it for 3 years before they told me I needed to stop doing that and go to the real EO. And I enjoyed it, and I stayed in it so long because it's the people you talk to, the people you interact with on a monthly basis is very, very valuable. And then you always, they do the quarterly learning days, or where you go for the full day learning event. And I'd done those for a long time, but like, there's always something I was able to say, oh, I'd forgotten about that. Or, uh, you know, you're right. I do need to get back and do that. Right. Because
Hmm.
if you're seeking to improve, there's always room for improvement.
Yes.
And so it helps remind me of what I'd forgotten to do, or maybe I hadn't forgotten. Maybe I just decided I couldn't do this thing right now. And then next year, when the topic rolled around, I'm like, you know what, I can actually have time to do that thing now and work on it some more. So
Well, Benji, can I ask you to kind of maybe break it out into two lenses?
sure.
When it comes to what you learned from EO Accelerator, what did you learn that really applied to managing your team? Maybe a specific example, but then also, how has it impacted taking care of your clients?
Sure. So I actually have a book on my desk for this. So
Awesome.
uh, this is Will's book, right? Will Scott. This
Yes.
is he's our
Yes.
current Accelerator uh, professor is the wrong word, but instructor. That's the word I was looking for.
Yes. He
Um,
leads our quarterly learning day. So we'll have
that's
to
right.
tag Will on this.
That's right. Um, and while I have to admit, sorry, Will, I haven't actually finished reading your book yet. Um, he is a really great. I mean, he's an amazing instructor, and his for those of you who couldn't read that, it's The Culture Fix is the name of the book, right? It's all about culture. Um, and so uh, that's been a big thing for us, and it has been since day one, but it's really helped reinforce it. The people aspect of the business, the working on the culture. And really having the courage to be who we want to be, and not being afraid of that. And so we have core values, right? And we try and live our core values, and one of our core values is, if you're a jerk, it ain't gonna work. And that applies for customers, and applies for employees as well. We don't allow jerks internally, and we don't allow our force our employees to work with jerks. And so we have on multiple occasions fired clients because our employees have come to us and said they're a jerk. And so we that's just the way we operate. It means we can't work with everybody, but I'm okay with that, because to me, keeping my employees happy, making sure that they're doing
Yes.
jobs they enjoy, and they're going to do them well, is my primary responsibility. I have to take care of
Hmm.
my team, and then they
Hmm.
will take care of the customers. And so making sure that they understand they have the uh, authority to declare a customer a problem is actually a really big deal. And actually, it's difficult to actually impress this upon them. It's because most of these people don't want to rock the boat, right? And
Right.
so they will silently suffer. And so, like, the most, so sometimes I feel like, are 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 they causing you problems, or is this client? And a lot of times the answer is no. It was,
Yes.
we understand, like, IT stressful, you're having a bad day, and there's a difference between having a bad day and a history of being always,
Right.
a jerk. And so, but like, I've had on multiple occasions say, "Hey, I think these people are being jerks. Is that correct?" And so sometimes we've had, what we commonly call come to Jesus conversations, right? Hey guys, something's got to give, or you have to go. And behavior improves sometimes, and sometimes we have those
Hmm.
conversations, and the answer is they have to go. And so that's one of the things that I've learned from Accelerator, is that not all business is good business, and that that people is what runs the business, and therefore has to be your the most protected asset you have. So, and I forgot the second thing you wanted me to ask about.
Well,
Sorry.
how has that focus on taking care of your people that you really
Mhm.
took from EO Accelerator, how has that helped take care of your clients,
So
help them grow, help them thrive.
people who are happy do better work, right?
In what
I
way?
mean, well, in every way. I mean, like, if you want to go to work, you're going to do a better job than someone who hates going to work, right? And when you're in a company in a business that is interacting with other people, right? Because I mean, while we do solve IT problems, we're solving IT problems with other people, and so having people who are happy, having people who are excited about being at work, at least most days, not everyone's not happy all the time, means that when they're interacting with our customers, the customers are going to have a better experience, right? They're going to be, the difference is, thank you for calling Sawyer Solutions. How may I help you? And thank you for calling Sawyer Solutions. How may I help you? Right? Just, one is someone who's forced to be there, or what I'm going to call the McDonald's experience. And then one is the Chick-fil-A experience, right? Where they're happy, and so that leads to, better customer satisfaction. It leads to happier clients, and it's kind of a self-reinforcing cycle, right? If you can get one of those sides moving to the other side, then it reinforces back on itself. Because if the clients are happier with you with the tech team, then
Yes.
the tech team's going to respond more positively when that client calls, and then they're going to respond more positively, and it works out better for everybody. So is that a good answer to your question?
Yes. And is that what you've seen happen?
It is, yes. We have what our core purpose is to and we're unabashedly a Christian organization. Our core purpose is to honor Jesus Christ by serving others with care and compassion. And so that preaching with care and compassion to our guys and our team is a constant thing. And and sometimes it's hard, right? I mean, sometimes you don't want to be caring and compassionate to somebody. Let's just be honest, right? They rubbed you the wrong way or whatever, right? But the common theme is when in our side of the business, when it's, hey, care and compassion, right? That's a common phrase we hear, and that's just a reminder that yes, they're human, right? They deserve care and compassion. You don't know what kind of day they're having, and that little care and compassion makes a big difference, and we see that. We're a very feedback driven organization. We constantly request feedback from our clients, sometimes a little too much according to some of our clients, but we have a customer satisfaction rating of consistently over 96%. We have an industry leading net promoter score, and and people really, by and large, when they make comments about things, it's how much they enjoy working with us, or how we don't talk down to them, and how we connect with them. So,
well, when it comes to your, I guess, graduation to EO Forum, how would you describe that process, and what has joining EO Forum with other, multi-million-dollar business owners, what's that been like for you?
it's been really good. So ours was a little different because they actually stood up a new forum for us, and so we have a bunch of people. Normally, you join EO and you go to an existing forum, but there were enough of us who were joining EO at the same time that we actually stood up an entirely new forum together. And so some of those people were in Accelerator program with me.
Okay.
Some of them were not. So I knew some of them had known for a couple of years, but two of them were brand new people. But it's been really good. We're getting to know each other. There's a little the initial dating period, if you will, but
Right.
we're sharing vulnerabilities. We're helping each other with our businesses. We're being there for each other, which is the whole purpose, right? So that when I have a bad day or when I have a problem, I can go to my forum and be like, oh my gosh, guys, and they can commiserate or empathize or help, right? Whatever the issue is. And that's significantly valuable to me. I found that significantly valuable.
Yeah. Well, Benji, as we wrap up the conversation, how would you say, how important has being involved in EO Accelerator and then EO, how important has that been to your development as a CEO?
It's probably the second most important thing I've done.
Yeah.
So
And what was first?
the Goldman Sachs program.
The Goldman Sachs program?
Yeah, but unfortunately, that's not available to everybody. So.
Well, Benji, thank you so much for coming to talk about your experience with EO Accelerator, with continuing your journey to EO Forum. If you are listening and you'd like to learn more about the Accelerator program, you're welcome to reach out to me. You're welcome to take a look at the EO Birmingham website. It's scrolling here on the screen. Or if you're thinking, you know what, I'd like to learn more about Sawyer Solutions, the information is right here on the screen. If you're listening or watching, we sure do appreciate you being here. And join me 2 weeks from now when we have our next conversation on 15 with Christine.